Kia ora guys, and welcome back to another video. If this is your first time here, welcome. Currently I'm at Cascade Ponds here in Banff. It's going to do a sunrise, but what we're going to do a sunrise with is a new GoPro Hero 9. So I recently brought this off a little bundle that was doing a good deal online. So I haven't had a GoPro since the Hero 3, which I was not a fan of. So I'm just going to branch out and try to do this. So it is currently -7 at 7:30 in the morning here. So I'm going to set it up with the time lapse and get going with it. So a couple of factors we're going to look at is this: how well it does the time lapse. It's going to be doing a night lapse, going from, as it is 7:30 in the morning, the sun is not even up yet, just the moon glows. We're going to test out, see how good it is with the what's in focus, what the colors like, and just go from that. Another big factor I'm going to test out is it going to last in the cold? So how good the battery is. I'm currently at 99% of the battery. I just charged it last night, so we should be good to go. We'll see how long it lasts. I'll put a little timer on and see how we go. Otherwise, stay tuned. Let's get into it. Oh, and the settings. Let's jump over the settings. So the settings for the night lapse for today, the lens is already in wide. The photo is in time-lapse, night-lapse photo instead of video. I just find they come out a little bit better in photos. Intervals, every 15 seconds it will take a photo. My shutter is on auto. The reason it is on auto is because being a night, so I'm shooting from a nighttime to a daytime. So it's gonna do it, change the shutter automatically, because say if you it's already daytime and you still have 4-second long exposure, that means your whole image is going to be blown up, like overexposed, which you don't want, because it's going to wreck your whole time lapse. So that's the reason why I have on auto shutter. Raw output, I edit them myself, so this is why I don't want a JPEG. I want JPEG and RAWs, which means I get more details I can bring out while editing a raw photo. Jurisdiction is if how long you ever want the shoot for. Say you've put it on for 2 hours, it will calculate how much time to do, how much photos you'll take before it turns off by itself. I just have timer, so it sets a time. That's like good for if you want to be in the shot, and group photos and stuff for timer. EV comp, I put it down just -5 because I like my photos a little bit darker more than I do overexposed. I feel like I can get more details in, I can bring it out myself. White balance, I usually just have it 5500. You could go down to anywhere between 4500 Kelvin to 5.5 is my one I usually go for. Now ISO, always keep that at 100. And then for the max, I don't like going over 400 with this. I find you get too much noise in your shots when you go above 400. So I try to keep mine on everything in this GoPro Max. Oh sorry, GoPro Hero 9 at 400. Sharpness I keep low because I sharpen it myself. Otherwise you can, if you don't do that yourself, you can just bring it to whatever you like. And I shoot the color in flat. Again, I do all the editing myself, so I don't want the GoPro colors, I just want it flat. And that's it. Right, so everything is set up now, it's ongoing. It's been going for a little bit. When in the little bundle package, you actually get this cool little clip. With this clip is what I found out is that you can actually, once your GoPro is attached to it, you can actually just squeeze it into your tripod, and it actually sits well. It's not stable, so I wouldn't recommend just holding it there and moving around with it, but if you're setting up just a little time lapse, it'll work pretty well, or taking some photos, or just holding it still for a video. It works pretty well. I can slowly start seeing a glow sort of coming on Cascade Mountain over here, so might be an awesome sunrise. Let's wait and find out. GoPro's still going. Alpine Glow turned out wicked, but I'm gonna cruise back home now and get a coffee, warm up my hands a little bit, and then we're gonna jump into how to do the post-processing of it, or how to edit it into a time lapse. I did have one guy just down here, he's just down the front there, try to like look at the GoPro like, maybe I want the spot, and I'm like, don't you dare, I've been here for 2 hours, you are not taking my spot, I will slap you or punch you on the throat. COVID times, don't need that, but going through my mind anyway. Anyway, let's jump back and jump into Lightroom and go from there. Stay tuned. Alright guys, so we just got back at home. Had to have a shower and 2 cups of coffee because I was freezing by the time I got home. I stayed around for probably like another 40 minutes afterwards. Mind you, it was actually minus 10 when I first started. I got that wrong, I thought it was minus 6 until I actually went into the weather. It's minus 10. So this GoPro was at 98% when I started it, and when I finished for 2 hours for shooting, it was at, the battery level was at 58%, which I think is pretty good, because I mean, the last GoPro I ever had was a GoPro Hero 3, and then going up to the ski hills, going snowboarding for the whole day, I find that it always died on me, so I think it's lasted pretty well. But anyway, we're just going to jump into Lightroom, and I'm just going to do a quick edit on them, and then we're going to put them into Final Cut Pro, and then from Final Cut Pro we make a time lapse and put it all together. So let's jump onto Lightroom. And it's recording. Alright, so now we got everything in Lightroom. So if you come to this screen with when you're importing it, when I first ever done one of these, it said the GPR, which is your GoPro GPR, which means it is going to be your raw files from, if you haven't shot just in JPEG, and you've shot JPEG and RAW. So normally they have like the JPEG and then they have the RAW ones right next to it, but it must have done an update by itself and it's just giving me raw ones, which is perfect. So these are all highlighted, ticked off, and now we're just gonna import them. Right, so I have 300 photos to go through, but that's okay, because all I'm going to do is do a quick edit on these, how I like them, and then to make them all so I find they have a little bit more noise in them that I don't want, but that's okay. You can always come down here and use noise reduction, and it takes a lot of it out. And as I said before, I'm going to sharpen it, so I'll come up here, hold down Option, I can see my outline of it, and that will be cool right there. And bring a little bit more noise reduction into it. Once you are happy with however you edit, you're going to hold down Shift, and then you're going to scroll all the way to the end, click on the end, and it highlights all of them. Now if you sync everything, it will all line up together. Like, so any of the editing you've done, it will sync every single one together. But then, as you know, it's going night to daytime, and then you're going to go to the brightest image, and then you're just going to start tweaking a little bit, and then do the same thing to synchronize all your settings again, just so it doesn't get too blown out or anything like that. So that's going to take a little time. So now that it's finally done, I mean, it doesn't look too bad. Personally, I'd probably go through it and just change. I think it's done a pretty good job by itself, just getting that first photo. So all we're going to do now, once you're happy with how you've edited it, I am just going to go highlight by Command A, so highlight them all. We're going to export them all. And we're going to bring them down to edit, and just like time lapse. Actually, Nightlapse. And then we're going to just change the folder. chuck it on desktop. Choose watermarks off it. There we go. So now that's just going to import them. Oh, export, sorry. And then we wait again. So I've just jumped into Final Cut Pro. All I'm going to do now is just import all my every single photo I've taken, the 300 and something photos. Awesome. It's a lot easier like that, and this is super simple. As you can see, it's already highlighted. Now all we're going to do is change the duration on this one. So we're going to go 0, 1, and that's going to cut down to 1 second. So once that's done, you can see from the start to finish, you have a time lapse there. Perfect, right? What you want to do is keep them highlighted, go right click and go new compound click and just go time lapse clip. There we are. And it also brings them to one clip. If you like, you can slow it down if you want to. You don't have to, but you can. That's completely up to you. What I would do now is actually just make, like, put a little bit of sound effects, put a little bit of music with it, and what I'm going to do with this one here, so I'm going to start at the very top here, and I'm going to keyframe. So in the film strip here, I'm going to scale it here, just click all the keyframes at the top here, and then bring it all the way to the end, and then just zoom in. We'll go 25, yeah, and then what you can do is just start from the top, and it zooms in. "355 photos gave me 15 seconds of footage," which I was out there for about 2 hours, just under 2 hours I think I was there for. So there's the night lapse. It just works really well. It's going from the nighttime to the daytime, and I think it does it really well. There's no really glitches in there like when you do it with a camera, because you got to sometimes, when you do it on manual with this camera here on the Sony, I have to go back and adjust to, when it gets a little bit lighter, I have to adjust the shutter or something like that. Where I think this, the GoPro 9 does pretty well. It does give it a little bit more noise than I want, but you can always fix that in post. And then same with the colors, you can always just go around and adjust it to what you would like. But all in all, it's a pretty awesome time lapse. It was fast, it's easy to get done. You just add into Final Cut Pro and do your duration, 1 second. You can slow it down if you like. Just make sure you render your video and have fun with it. So there are some more videos kind of coming up very shortly with this. As I've only just picked this up, I have a couple of friends who I'm going to be going snowboarding with. They're pretty crazy. So I'm going to be following them with the Ronin, and I'm going to strap this to them and then see actually how good of stability it is. So keep watching for that. Hit that like and hit that subscribe. I'll be seeing you guys in the next video. Thanks. Peace.